ワールドリポートです。今日はアメリカから2つのリポートをご覧いただきます。まずはアメリカ三大財閥の一つロックフェラーです。ロックフェラーは石油事業や鉄道、金融業などを幅広く手掛ける多国籍企業で、アメリカの政財界に大変大きな影響力を持っています。現在グループ全体の責任者は3代目のデビッド・ロックフェラーさんです。87歳の現在も多忙な日々を送るデビッドさんがアメリカ ABC バーバラ・ウォルターズのインタビューに答えました。家族やその暮らしぶりについて語っています。
手綱を握るデビッド・ロックフェラーさん。長年実業界に君臨、大手銀行の会長を務め、アメリカの顔ともいえるロックフェラー家の伝説と巨万の富を引き継いできました。これがロックフェラー家の邸宅です。ハドソン川上流マンハッタンの北40キロのところにあります。屋敷は20世紀初めに建てられました。庭園、噴水、乗馬コースなどがあり、至る所に美術品が点在しています。手入れの行き届いた広大な敷地は小さな町ほどの広さがあります。
That one. Is this the golf course? Yes, it goes right around the place. Private golf course? Yes. So you have golf courses, tennis courts, swimming pool, squash courts, bowling alleys. And horses. And horses, all on the property. Right. Nobody can complain about having nothing to do. I never have.
ロックフェラー家ほどアメリカやアメリカ人の生活に強い影響を及ぼした一族は他にありません。アメリカの至る所にロックフェラー家が関わったものがあります。3代目のデビッド・ロックフェラーさんは87歳。これまで勤勉に働いてきましたが、その生活は一般人とは無縁の別世界でした。
Tell me about your life here. I have to give people an idea. 3,400 acres. It is 30 times the size of Hollywood, 4 times the size of Central Park. What was it like for you as a little boy to grow up here?
It was great.
I bet. In addition to your mother and father, there were nurses, tutors, secretaries, your father's valet, waitresses, kitchen maids, parlor maids, chambermaids, chauffeurs, chefs. Staggering. Did you know at the time that your life was different?
Probably not. I mean, I was brought up with it, so it seemed natural.
Did you ever see poor people? Did you ever see slums?
Yes. Obviously, not a lot. But when I was, I think, in the 6th grade, I can remember taking baskets of food up 3 or 4 flights of tenement houses to give to people. And it might seem a little strange, but a liveried driver would carry the basket because it was too heavy for me. And so we did do things of that sort.
I understand that when you were a little boy, your father had you roller skate to school.
Well, that was because Father thought I should get exercise, and the car with the driver would follow along and pick me up at 72nd Street and take me the rest of the way.
You'd be roller skating and the limousine would be behind you.
More or less.
一族の名を伝説的な存在に高めたロックフェラー財閥の創始者はジョン・ロックフェラーです。貧しい家庭の出身の彼は高校卒業後、1870年スタンダードオイル社を設立。そしてライバル会社を吸収合併し、独占体制を築いた彼は製油業界のトップに立ち、アメリカ史上未曾有の巨万の富を築きました。
A lot of things that he did were legal then, perhaps would not be now.
Like a monopoly, for example?
Monopoly is a good example.
Did he ever express any remorse about his business dealings?
Not the slightest.
自由な競争を妨げるとして反トラスト法に基づいて提訴されたり、その経営方針を批判されたりしました。そこで彼は人を雇い、富の有効使用法を検討させました。そして提案されたのが慈善事業でした。シカゴ大学の創立、アトランタのアフリカ系アメリカ人女性への教育支援、ロックフェラー医学研究所やロックフェラー財団を設立しました。
As a child, he gave away 10%, which was what his mother taught him to do, to church. He carried that a lot further.
At one point, your grandfather used to give dimes away to people on the street. A dime then is like $1 today. Why was he giving away dimes?
Well, he did, I think, because of the criticism against him. He needed a way in which he could establish some contact with people on the street. And I think that's the reason he did it.
神が富を与えてくださったと語ったジョン・ロックフェラーは、その哲学と責任を一人息子のジョン2世に託しました。彼は父の事業と慈善事業を受け継いだものの、両立させるのに苦労し、2度神経衰弱になったといいます。
Your father said, especially of the business dealings, that it was a race with his own conscience. What did he mean by that?
Well, I think that the religious side of his upbringing made him feel, am I doing the right thing?
彼はニューヨークにロックフェラーセンターを建設したり、西海岸のセコイア杉の保護援助を行いました。
He spent most of his life giving things away.
That's true, and in the process got great satisfaction, and rightly so, from doing it. He saw problems and he helped solve them.
彼はまたウィリアムズバーグで植民地時代の建造物を復元する事業やベルサイユ宮殿の修復も援助しました。アビー夫人もニューヨークの近代美術館を設立しました。2人の間には6人の子供が生まれました。長女のアビーは目立たない生活を選びましたが、他の5人の兄弟は自分の能力を発揮しようと努め、兄弟の中で軋轢があっても外に対しては結束しました。ウィンスロップはアーカンソー州知事に、ネルソンはニューヨーク州知事を4期務め副大統領になりましたが、離婚問題が原因で大統領候補には指名されませんでした。ジョン3世は科学研究所の所長を務め、ローレンスはベンチャーキャピタルを手掛け、環境保護活動に力を注ぎました。末っ子のデビッドさんはチェイスマンハッタン銀行の会長として世界中の首脳と面識があり、慈善活動にも力を入れてきました。
Dyslexic, and yet you became the head of the Chase Bank. You became a banker. Forgive me, but how do you become a banker when you're dyslexic? Must have been very hard. Get used to it.
In fact, I never learned to read quickly, and I'm sure that's the reason. It's a handicap, but you know, we all have handicaps, and we learn to live with them.
You are very wealthy, sir, aren't you?
Yes.
But again and again in your book, you write that being a Rockefeller meant having a burden.
Being wealthy also has its obligations, that the people who have money have an obligation to society to do things that are helpful to others.
それもたやすいことでしょう。
Wherever you look, it's so beautiful. What a fantastic view this is.
This is the highest piece of land in Westchester County.
Across from us, as I'm looking, is there are no buildings there. Now, your family bought that as well.
That is a piece where developers were using it as a rock quarry, and my grandfather and father saw this and bought the land to save it.
And now you have that beautiful view.
Now we have
unobstructed.
A beautiful view.
Now, this is the house that your grandfather built and lived in. Your father lived in it as well.
Yes, it was built by grandfather and father together. It was a decision that I think he and father made jointly.
What are we coming to now?
This is the stable and garage.
That serviced the big house.
It was all originally just for horses, and then they added this side for cars.
Do you ever fantasize about what it would have been like if you'd been born John Smith?
Not particularly.
What do you do when people come to you or write to you and ask you for money, which they must do all the time?
Yes, I really do what Father did also, and say I really feel that the best way I can use my money for the benefit of others is to do it through organizations and in relation to projects that are valuable to many people, and that to try to give it to individuals, you could spend your life and you just have a long line of people coming. Doesn't seem to be the most productive way to use it.
デビッドさんには亡くなった夫人との間に6人の子供がいます。また5代目にあたる孫やいとこの数は50人を超えます。お金はあまりあるほどですが、中にはロックフェラーの名が重荷になって一族の伝統に反して暮らしている人もいるといいます。
They live very different kinds of lives. Does that pain you at all?
Yes, well, I feel a little sad about it because I think that they've missed a lot out of life, but one can't live the lives of other people.
デビッドさんは生涯ずっと働き続けています。その必要があるからではなく、楽しんでいるからです。今でも事務所で長時間過ごしています。
How would you like the Rockefeller name to be remembered?
As a family that believed in creating wealth honestly and handling it wisely, but in the process who recognized that having wealth gives one opportunities which other people don't have, and that it's very important to take advantage of those opportunities. And I think our family, by and large, has done so well.
このロックフェラーの邸宅ですが、毎年春から秋まで一般公開が行われています。今年は11月の3日まで公開されるということです。お屋敷には40もの部屋がありまして、庭園にはピカソなど現代彫刻200点が飾られています。それらを2時間かけて見学するコースに人気が集まっているということでした。またデビッドさんはこのほど回顧録を出版しました。名門の家庭に生まれた自分の人生と両親兄弟との思い出、そして仕事のことなどをこの本の中で語っています。